Hello, you funeral of hearts. Jim Sterling here, and this is Doom. It's Doom. That's what it is. I captured some of this footage last night. I'm actually testing out, before anyone gets up my arse, I'm testing out a new capture thing that I got for my PS4. So don't get upset. You can go watch PC footage anywhere else if you want, but you can only hear my silky smooth voice at the Jim Sterling YouTube channel, unless you're watching, like, I don't know, the Polaris channel whenever I was on Co-optional, or Retsa Prey when I was on their podcast, or some episodes of the Miller Report, or sort of anywhere else where I've had a voice happen on it. So this isn't the only place where you can hear my the SoundCloud with the Jimquisition podcast feed. You can also hear my voice there, but that's neither here nor there because we're here to talk about Doom. Okay, what I like about this opening is it just started. Now that sounds weird, but do you remember when games did just start? I was thinking about this just before I started playing this game. Actually, I was thinking about the very first Doom. There was no opening cutscene. There was no preamble. It was just E1, M1. There you are in the fucking mission. And there are enemies, and you shoot them, and that's it. And so many games now just don't do that. And this game, it's got a bit of, as you can see, it's got some preamble, but, you know, it starts off immediately. You wake up, there are demons, you shoot the demons, then you get your cool suit. And that I like. I like that a lot. I like a game that just starts, because so few games do now, they want to be so serious. This made me laugh. Just a really friendly warning on the thing. Just demonic invasion in progress. Just it happens all the time. So I did like that. I feel like this game has this kind of pathos running throughout it, with all of this chaos and shit going on, and just these moments of just a casual response to it from the UAC. It is UAC, isn't it? I really have done a silly if it isn't. Anyway, here's Optimus Prime. Yeah, it's UAC. It just says right there. Optimus Prime having a chat with us, which is cool. I'm alright with that. And that, I like that as well. I was actually talking to someone on Ask FM about this morning. Sorry, I shouldn't just smack my tongue while I'm talking. That's very fucking disgusting. Yeah, I was talking about this morning because someone brought up the fact that there's clearly a serious story happening here, but the game's protagonist, the Doom Marine, doesn't give a fuck. Like, you've got Optimus Prime trying to give us exposition, and he just grabs the monitor and just tosses it aside. Because he's here to kill stuff. That's his job. That's what he do. Yeah, the game's a bit weird about that. You press you click the right stick in if you're playing on a controller like I am here. Don't give me shit because I'm testing out my capture unit. Shut up. You click the stick to interact with stuff, but sometimes it doesn't work, so you're just meleeing what you're trying to interact with. It's weird. Anyway, here's the first imp. There he is. I do actually I think they did a better job than I initially gave them credit for, with modernising the Doom characters while giving them a recognisable look. Like, it looks like an imp, clearly a very modernised, sleek, cool, quote-unquote, version of an imp, but it's recognisably one, which I like. They found a nice middle ground, a nice compromise between obviously trying to keep everything new-looking and giving us something recognisable. And of course the imps are fast, very similar to their Doom 3 counterparts in regards to movement. A lot of ducking and weaving, grabbing onto walls and all that kind of stuff. Very hard to get a bead on, actually, in my experience. Then again, I mean, everything's hard for me to get a bead on. That sounded like that was I was going for some sort of euphemism, but I was actually just being quite straightforward there. I don't know if you can make get a bead on sound actually, no, get a bead on does sound inherently sexual, I think, so there, we've learned something. We've learned about getting bead on. What was I going to say? Oh yes, I should actually give you maybe some impressions of Doom, since that's what we're here for. Obviously this is pre-recorded stuff. I like it. I'm pleasantly surprised. As you can see almost from the off, it's just killing, which is obviously what was a big part of the original series. It's this constant. You get more and more varied demons, of course, and more weapons as you go on, but it's a lot of shooting and a lot of punching things faces off. You punch the face off, you kick the leg off, you rip the arm off and use it to hit the head off. Lots of that. I know there was some controversy, I guess we could say, about the melee attacks, the glory kills, talking about them rendering the game easy or whatnot. I mean, that's true of the possessed. There's just cannon fodder, they're there as punching bags. But otherwise, I mean, you've got to weaken things with the guns first. And so far, I've not gotten bored of the melee kills, the glory kills. That could change, because you do it a lot. So that's my fear, is quiet for a moment. And that's the point where the game kind of had me. The game had me at the intro music, which of course is a take on the original Doom music, being capped off with that, just the ch-ch of the shotgun. That's basically, like, it's the end point of the tune as the player steps out and cocks the gun. I thought that was a really slickly produced moment. That was a very classy introduction. And that's when I was like, okay, I think this game is gonna be legit. I think it's going places I like. And yeah, I am liking it so far. I don't know why Bethesda was so worried about reviews. Of course, I don't know what the other critics are saying right now. I mean, I played, I guess, it would have been more than an hour. Was it? Maybe about an hour last night. And then I went to bed. So I've not seen what anyone else has said of it yet, but I mean, I've heard a couple of mixed things. I know someone just you know, again on Ask, someone was like, it doesn't feel enough like Doom, whereas someone else said it felt perfectly like Doom. So I guess it depends what Doom is to you. You know, as simple as the original game was, there's a lot of sentiment attached to it, and with sentiment comes a lot of people drawing their own personal joy from it. So, you know, Doom can mean different things to different people. Personally, I feel like we're not going to get a satisfactory, this is just like Doom, unless you go full-bore retro with the fucking thing. And give us just literally Doom 2 again, but different. I feel like if you're doing a modern 3D first-person shooter, you're never going to quite capture Doom. But I feel like this is a very noble effort, and it is its own thing while still having a lot of Doomy elements, and I'm satisfied with that. Like I say, my biggest concern so far is how long before it outstays its welcome. Like this, so far this is fun for me. I don't know what keeps happening there. Sometimes I keep going to melee them and they go. I don't know if they're insta dodging, whether they dodge or whether there's just something fucks up, but it doesn't feel right that you go to melee something like that and it blinks like a fucking D&D character. Oh, for fuck's sake. Bartleby! Calm down. He has been an asshole all morning. You know, I had to chase him. Ain't nothing funnier than a fat man chasing a bulldog. But I had to fucking chase him because the school bus went past and he actually got into the road and chased it like a literal cartoon dog. He's normally pretty good about that stuff, so I just casually let him stroll out with me sometimes, but I made the mistake of doing it while the school bus was doing its rounds, and that was that just set him off. Anyway, here's some story happening while I'm talking about my bulldog escapades. But yeah, he's not the golden boy right now, so him barking while I'm trying to talk about Doom is not cute, it's not fun. But yeah, as you see, Doom Marine doesn't really give a fuck about the story. He's just there to kill stuff, which I'm hoping is deliberate. Because it's almost like Doom 3's world with Doom 2/Doom 1's protagonist. like the dude who's just here to kill stuff, and everyone else is invested in it, which normally I would have a problem with, because I often have problems with games like, say, the first Homefront, where it's clear that everyone else is really invested in it, but I'm being given no reason to be invested in it. But here, because it feels deliberate, like it's part of the charm, because no, you're there to kill stuff. That's your involvement. You're just pissed off at everything. And they do enough with the protagonist's animations. The way he'll smash a screen or throw it aside, like, to just show you, like, he is involved in the story, and his involvement begins and ends with, I'm fucking annoyed. I'm annoyed and I want to punch your face off, which I like, and I respect the purity of those convictions. Would that we all could know ourselves as well as Doom Guy. We don't. We can never know ourselves as intimately and perfectly as Doom Guy knows himself. And that's good. And if you saw there, I was using chainsaw. Yeah, chainsaw's cool enough. Again, people were concerned that the chainsaw makes things a bit too easy, but it's used almost like a power-up in this game. Like, you get enough ammo in it for, 3 or 4 chops, and then you've got to wait until you get more back, and it's not liberal, unlike the other ammo. It's something you can only use very occasionally, so it feels like a temporary mode, which is emphasised by the fact that when you chainsaw kill something, they just pay out like a fucking slot machine in terms of ammunition, which is cool. Anyway, just punching more stuff. So yeah, like these possessed guys, this is what they're there for. These low-level grunts, they're there to pick up health, basically. You run up and smash them and you get health drops. And I like that about the game. It's very liberal with its health. Your health can go down very, very... I feel... Sorry, I know I keep getting distracted. I'm like Ross Noble right now, except not funny, unlike Ross Noble, who is funny. I just had to talk about I always feel sorry for the demon of a possessed that puts its arms up in a cross to try and protect itself from the chainsaw, and you just through it. I haven't felt this sorry for an enemy in a game since Dragon's Dogma, where I felt incredibly bad for the griffins and whatnot by the time you're nearly killing, like they're nearly dead, when they're just covered in blood and just spasming on the floor sad, while you mercilessly chop them up because you need some crafting materials. Anyway, new gun here. It's an assault rifle. Fair enough. You see it does shooting. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, let's go back to weapon modifications. There is sort of some weapon modding stuff. You can find like these weapon mod robots throughout the level. And they give you basically a sub-mode for your gun. And you do that because there's no real iron sighting in the game. Chainsaw. Because there's no real iron sighting in the game, you hold down what would normally be your iron sight button, be it a mouse or a controller trigger, and it charges up the weapon's sub-fire mode. And you can switch between different ones. So the shotgun can fire like a triple shot, or you can switch out and it'll fire an explosive shot, and that's cool. And the assault rifle, you can do, I forget what one of them is because I've only unlocked one so far, but you can fire like a triple missile, which is cool. And I like the sub-fire mode. It can be very useful for, when a bigger enemy appears, to be able to fire off some explosive shots from, the same gun you're using as a shotgun. It's just convenient, and that's what we want when we're killing. Just a little bit of convenience. It ain't gonna fucking kill anyone, will it? So, yeah. Don't have any multiplayer footage because I only had like a quick go on 2 maps before I really had to crash last night. But so far, I didn't think it'd be my thing, but I'm not having a bad time with it. I'm not normally a fan of, what I guess you could call classic first-person shooter multiplayer, where rockets and higher health counts and stuff. I like I like very class-based stuff. I like Call of, I'll say it, I'm not ashamed. Call of Duty 4 is what got me more into multiplayer, where I never used to bother with it. So, that faster, it's all about who gets the jump on who, rather than who can outlast the other one while you're firing shells into each other. I hope I'm making sense. For example, Halo's multiplayer does nothing for me. It does very little for me. Whereas, your Call of Duty does. And, I've become very fond of Battleborn and Overwatch, so those games are doing a lot for me. Whereas something like this, which is just like, high HP count people blasting lots of rockets at each other, it never really did much for me. But all of that preamble is to say that I'm quite enjoying the multiplayer so far. I am enjoying it. I had a quick go on Domination, quick go on Team Deathmatch, just the simple things. I do like the whole demonic possession thing, where one of you can become a Revenant or a Mancubus, or, whichever one you've unlocked, so you can actually be a demon for a while and just spout a lot of death. I've had 2 goes as the Revenant so far, and it is very fun to just jetpack around the map, indiscriminately blasting at the enemies. Very cool. Very cool indeed. So, yeah, so far I am I don't know if I'm going to say impressed, but very pleasantly surprised, and not regretting so far picking it up. I purchased it last night. I actually did get a review code last night, but I was already playing it by the time, because I wasn't expecting to get one, so I was already playing it by the time the review codes actually went out to people. There you go. So I've actually got a spare code going. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't know if it's considered gauche to give it away, but I can't use it. Otherwise I'm just hanging on to it and it's not doing anything. So I don't know if maybe it's kosher to just tweet it out or whatnot, or maybe it can go to some other reviewer. I don't know. But anyway, point is that I bought it, and I'm not cursing the purchase. I feel like I've spent my money for a good time, which is better than spending my money for a bad time. At least so far. Again, like I said, could outstay its welcome, could suddenly go shit, but it's a very strong start, and holy shit, we're at the end of the video. Bye!